Welcome everyone to my first introduction video, Crocheting for Beginners, where we will be crocheting an easy pot holder. This video is for complete beginners who have never crocheted before. I will be showing you what materials you will be needing, how to hold your hook and your yarn, and how to make a foundation chain and then how to single crochet in rows. At the end I will be showing you how to crochet around the edge to make a border, however you don't really have to do this if you don't want to. Also, I will be using US terminology, so if you want to go online and crochet something else after this, just keep that in mind. So let's get started. All we will be needing is a crochet hook in your size of choice and some yarn that goes with that size. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook and yarn that fits that size. If you want to use a 2mm crochet hook or something in between, then you have to take yarn that is smaller, and also you might have to do a double layer so that your pot holder can withstand the heat. Also, because we are going to need something that can withstand the heat, it's very important to take 100% cotton yarn and nothing that is made of wool or plastic, for that won't be safe. I am using a light colored yarn because this will be easier to see on camera and also the stitches will be easier to see. But if you want to use something darker, just make sure that you have really good lighting. 50 grams of yarn is going to make you 2 pot holders, and we're also going to be needing some scissors and a yarn needle. Now I will be showing you how to hold your hook. You can hold it in a pen grip, which is an underhand grip because your hand is underneath the hook, or you can hold your crochet hook in a knife grip, which is like cutting with a knife, and a overhand grip. The most important thing is to hold your hook how it's most comfortable to you, and I usually use the pen grip when crocheting. To start off with our foundation chain, we're going to make a slip knot. You do this by wrapping the yarn around your finger, taking it off, going around the back, and pulling it through with your finger or hook. Now, we're going to pull this tight, and this is our slip knot. Now we're going to remember how to hold our hook in a pen grip or in a knife grip, and I hold my yarn by wrapping it around my little finger, around my middle finger and pointing finger, like this, and then I hold the back of my work with my middle finger and thumb. Now we're going to begin chaining. To do this, we will go with our hook behind the yarn, turn it around so it's pointing downwards towards the knot, and pull it through this loop. We're going to do that again. Go behind the yarn, turn it down, and go through the loop. We have chained 2. You can see the V, each V is 1 chain. When we're going behind the yarn and turning it over, this means to yarn over. And it's important to note, when you have the hook pointing down, you can go through the loop. However, if the hook is pointing to the front, to the back, or to the top, it will not go through, so it's important to turn it down like this. We're going to be chaining 30. We right now have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we will continue. Yarn over, pull it through, 5. Yarn over, pull it through, 6. And 30. And now when we finished our chain of 30, we're going to do 1 extra chain. This is going to be our turning chain, and we'll make that at the end of every single row. Now I'm going to show you how to single crochet this row. We've been going in this direction, and now we're going to turn around and go back down this row. We've already done our turning stitch. Now we're going to go through the second loop from the hook. We can see this here is our last crochet, and this one is the second crochet. It has a top loop and a bottom loop. We're going to go through the top yarn over, turn down our hook, and pull it through. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over again, turn the hook down, and pull it through both loops on our hook. This was our first single crochet. We're going to do that in every single stitch the way down. For the next one, we can see this first thing here is where we just went through, and here is the second crochet. So again, in the top loop, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, turn our hook down, pull it through that one loop. Now we're going to yarn over again and pull it through both loops. That was number 2. Now we can look again. We're not going through this first one, we're going through the second one. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and pull through again. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and pull it through again. And 30. So, as you can see, I've gotten to the end of the row. It has curled up a little bit, but if you pull it, it will straighten out a bit and it will get better as farther we get along. When we finish this row with our single crochets, we will chain 1 as a turning crochet and then turn the whole thing over like this. Now this row is a little bit different again because we're not crocheting into the chain, but we're crocheting into our first row of single crochets. And you can see from the top that you have the V's again. Now we're not just going to go into one loop, we're going to go into the second V from the hook, so we're skipping the chain and we're going to go through both V's like this, so that you have both in there. Now we're going to yarn over, pull the hook through, yarn over, and pull the hook through again, just like before. And in the next stitch, we're going to go through both hook threads, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And we'll be doing this 30 times again until we get to the end of the next row. $29, and don't forget to go into this last stitch here, 30. Now, don't forget to chain 1 again. This is our turning chain, and now we will turn over the whole thing again like this. So now we just continue doing this back and forth until we've got the height as long as its width is. For me, that's about 35 rows, but I can also show you how to figure it out later. So we skip the first one, go into the second crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, next one, and just go on and on like that. As you can see here, I've gotten along quite nicely. This is what it looks, maybe 2/3 done. You can see your first row down here on the bottom, and then, let's turn this over. I will show you how to count the rows for a second. Each one of this row counts as 2. It's 1 time there and one's back. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 24, 25, 26 rows. And you can see that it's not completely square yet. I have to keep going on until I can fold it like this and nothing stands over the side. So if I can do a perfect triangle, I'm done with my rows. Okay, now that I've finished my 37th row, it's a perfect square. You can also measure both sides to see if you've got the right size. And I'm going to change my colors and work on the border. I've done my 30th stitch here, and I'm just going to pull yarn over and pull the yarn through once, cut it off, leaving a tail, and finish it off like this. I will deal with these strings later when I finish the border. I'm going to be using this colorful yarn, also in cotton, for the edge, so that it goes with my other crochet hot pot that I've made. And you're going to first take your needle. We will start on this long right corner so that it's easier at the first. I will go through the very first stitch and just pull the thread through this once. Then I will go into the next stitch and crochet along the edge into every single stitch. When you get to the border, you will crochet 3 single crochets into the border one to get around the corner well, and then continue on to the next side. Here it's a little bit more challenging to see where you have to crochet, but try to spread out 30 stitches evenly going into these holes here. Now I'm going to put 3 single crochets into this corner stitch again. 3, and continue along the back side going into this first chain line. Okay, once you've come around, you're going to do 2 single crochets into that very first stitch to finish off the last corner. And now we're going to make the hook, the loop. We're going to chain 10, and then we're going to attach this to the mitt again by inserting the hook, pulling through the string, and then just pulling it through again right away. This is a slip stitch. And now to make this more durable, we're going to turn around and single crochet about 17 stitches into this hook. And we're going to start from this side. So we're going to insert our hook into the loop, pull through, yarn over and pull through the yarn, and then yarn over and pull through again. 17 times through the loop, yarn over, 17. And you can spread this out by just pulling it around the loop a bit. Okay, last thing we do is a slip stitch into that same first crochet again. Pull it through, and we can cut off the yarn. And now it's almost done. So now all we've got to do is take our yarn needle. You can also take a normal needle with a big loop on the back and sew down all of these loose strings. This is quite easy. You just go in and then weave it back and forth between the same color, and then cut off the loose string. So we will do this with all of that, and then I'll see you back. And there you've got it. We finished our very first pot holder. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you could see everything and understand it. And I hope that you really enjoy getting into crocheting and maybe continue on doing different things. I've made a set that goes very well with each other. And if you continue on with this craft, you could also go on to more complicated patterns and continue learning. Have fun!